back, and today's project is I need to build a concrete buggy, and I'm going to put it on there. And so I got to get box blade off. I don't know, I may just back it in there and start cutting out pieces. I'll probably get it out of the way first so I can just test fit stuff in there. Not real sure how I want it built yet. I got a few ideas on sizes and dimensions, so I guess we'll figure it out as we go. First thing, remove that. Now, secondly, I need to make room to work, which is always in short supply. Got my helper. She likes to, help chew on things, help go for rides. She doesn't want to be left home. But she's supposed to ride in the back. She just doesn't know that. All right, I got this old fuel tank that I've cut open and used some steel out of, and I think this back part right here is just big enough to make the back part of my hopper out of. And so I got one of these Diablo Steel Demon blades for cutting steel, which just seems wrong, but I'm gonna give it a shot. Cut it down small enough it'll fit on my plasma table. I'm gonna get this put on my saw and I'll be right back. Okay, so scratch the saw blade. Turns out I don't have a saw that'll run it. I thought my battery powered saw was 7 1/4 and it's not. And the only other saw I got runs a 7 1/4 blade is set up to run with my track guide system, and I'm not taking the shield and adapters and everything off that I have adjusted to the blade to change the blade to run it. So I guess we're going with the handy dandy angle grinder and a cutoff wheel, and we'll get that zipped off there. Oh, now my cord's too short. I got a battery powered grinder, but it's packed away in the truck and I was too lazy to go get it. So now I'm dealing with the cord. I know. That's not square at all. It just has to be close enough to get it on my table. And to make sure it's still big enough. Actually, believe it or not, that was right on. Now, get her cut. Alright. I was originally going to just cut, since it's pretty much all straight lines, I was going to cut it all out with that new saw blade. But since I didn't have a saw, I reverted back to the plasma table, and it's a lot more fun anyhow. But it's the computer part of it, I am just learning, and I have not gotten all the tips and tricks and stuff down to make it super easy and super fast. And when something doesn't go quite right, because it seems like every time there's an update, there's a new setting that causes problems that I have to go ahead and figure out how to get it right to go back to doing it the way it was. So, but got that cut, gonna get that popped out of there, see how it fits on the 3-point hitch of the tractor, and probably draw up the front side, which will have a door in it for the chute. And then I'll have to figure out I'll probably just hold it up in place, measure the sides, draw them up real quick, and cut them out. And it's just going to kind of be a flat back. And I think I'm going to taper this one out this way. And then the sides are going to taper down. Then there'll be a chute on the bottom, and then just a simple like coal chute door. And hopefully that'll work. I didn't get any pins yet, so either I'll have to make a run to TSC or Roll King or something and pick up the pins for the 3-point hitch, or if I got some stock laying around, I may just throw it in the lathe and turn a couple. But I'm going to get it out of there, get it up there, and probably draw up the next piece, get it cut out, and then we'll hopefully cut out some sides, then we'll be ready to start tacking stuff together. Well, I got the 2 sides cut out and tacked on. I don't know how this is going to go. I wish I had a sheet metal brake that could bend that, but I don't. So I'm hoping we'll go ahead and cut out the top and tack it on the top like I did the bottom there, and then see if I can't stand it up and maybe heat it along the line or something, see if I can't bend it over, or maybe weld tops and bottoms solid and hope there's enough heat transfer to make it soft so I can bend it over. Worst case, I score it with a angle grinder and bend it on over and weld it back up. But that's it. I get to get the top cut out. Alright, as you can see, got the face cut out, opening for the chute. Might have made it a little big, I don't know. I didn't want it, wanted to be able to get in there and clean stuff out, so it'll be alright. I'll make it work. Now we're going to flip it up on its top there and see if I can get this stuff bent around and get it welded together. Hope everything works out. Looks like I got I don't know. We'll see. Angles are definitely different. I might have screwed something up. Alright guys, welcome back. It's a new day, or more correctly, a new night. Not real sure where we left off with this. I ran into some problems, some design problems. It just wasn't working out the way I thought it might. And so I kind of got to thinking about how to fix it, and once I come up with the idea, I just kind of ran with it and forgot to turn the camera back on. But anyhow, my problem was originally this was going to be my chute angle, and after I got to looking at it, I was pretty sure that was not enough angle for some stiff concrete. And I am not 100% sure if this is enough angle either, but it's a lot more, so it can't hurt none. Originally, this was going to weld to this, which I welded the other side, had it all tacked up, and was tacking the back side, and realized that it was just, the metal was not bending as easy as I thought it would, and it was distorting the whole box, and I didn't like it. So I cut it apart and started over, and I even had it marked. I was just going to cut those fronts off and redo that, and I realized I didn't like the angle on the bottom either for the bottom chute, and that made the door only be this big, and I could have cut it higher, but it was just cuts down on the volume of the box too. So I came up with just extending this chute straight down. Gives me a nice big door, so that way I'll be able to reach in there with a shovel and clean that chute out, and gives me a little more bracing, a little easier to weld too. So I like it. I think I'm headed in the right way. Will it work? I don't know. I think so. Will it work great? I don't know. To be seen. May need some revisions. But that's pretty much where I am. Going to get busy and just get this welded up. And then I'll be back when it's time to start building the frame to mount it. And also, when I do mount it, I might make the mount for the third member there at such a point that if I wanted to drop the box down, it would actually tilt it to help, you know, make the angle of the chute steeper to help dump the concrete out. So that's where I'm going. I got the door braced up there, and then I'm just going to put a chute on the front there. I got to put some lips on it. I got the door cut out there. It's going up against here, and just gonna put a handle up there with a pivot to slide it up and latch and slide it down and give her a shot. But, all right, guys, gonna get busy welding it up. And whoa, wait, hey, what happened? What happened? You guys all right? You okay? You fell over. We're good. Anyhow, I'm gonna get it welded up and we'll be. Hey guys, welcome back. Still working on this concrete bucket. It'd be a lot easier if I didn't have anything else going on. I could get it done. But I got most of it welded up, and it's 99% welded. But I want to go ahead and get the 3-point hitch brackets made so that it'll fit the tractor, because I want to put the tractor back on the box blade. I got things I need to do. It's wood cutting season, and that tractor's just almost useless without some kind of weight on the back. It's very tippy. It didn't used to have those wheel weights on, which those are just a random wheel weight I found that tucked up in the wheel well nice and didn't add a lot of width to the tractor. So those definitely help a lot, because before, without anything on the back, it was, I mean, you couldn't back up a slight incline without putting it in 4-wheel drive. It was just helpless. So it spent most of its life with a backhoe attachment on it, and of course that was plenty of weight, but as soon as you took it off, it was helpless. So I'd like to get the box blade back on, and I need to use it to move some stuff around. So I want to get these made. I'm going to drill a couple holes in these. I want these to be like bookends on either side of the box, and then I'm going to tie them together with a piece across the back. So I got to get a couple 7/8 holes drilled, and I don't have a 7-inch drill bit, so I'm going to do 1/2 inch and then use this step bit to take it on up, which happens to be, this is only 3/16, and that happens to be 7/8 right there, and that's a 3/16 step, so it'll make it. If you guys don't have any of these, they're definitely handy, especially for like sheet metal and plastics. Unlike a regular drill bit, since you don't have the spiral flute, it doesn't grab the material and pull it out like sheet metal. It wants to just go through all at once and puckers it out. Same with plastic. Definitely nice for the thin stuff. So I'm gonna get these measured out, get them drilled, and I'm probably going to end up welding the nut to the back side anyhow, because it seems like they always come loose. And once I put this on the bucket, there's not going to be any getting back in there to tighten that with a wrench. So I think we're going to weld the nut on. I might just weld the nut on, screw it in there tight, and then give it a good couple tacks on this side just to keep it tight. All right, guys, gonna get back to it. We'll be back in a sec. I'm gonna do welding wire. I love Amazon. I really need to clean the shop. But I could either take the time to clean the shop, or I could take the time to finish the project. So there's where I am. Yeah, I know. That's not the proper way to drill a hole, but I come from the time before all the YouTube safety Nazis. Anybody else always turn the chuck the wrong way on a drill press? Every time. Like a glove. They do such a good job too. No crazy birds out the back. Nice. Don't judge my welds. I'm in a bit of a hurry with this project, and so I'm not taking the time to clean the steel like it should be cleaned, or set the fixtures for the best welds, but they'll hold. This bucket will probably only get used twice a year for headstone footers for cemetery. Just got to be able to shovel the concrete from the truck to the hole, and the rest of the time it's going to sit. Well, I'm not real sure where we left off. Battery died, so I changed the battery out, and I don't know how far I went after the battery died. Got everything tacked up for the 3-point hits, so I will go ahead and stick it on there, make sure everything clears, and no binding, no interference, and then it'll be pulled back off and finish welding this part. Then I can get the tractor out of here and flip this over and work on the door. So let's get her on there. Ought to have enough clearance to clear my forms. Still be low enough to get loaded out of the truck. And there's plenty of clearance back here too. I can always filter down a little more. Alright, welcome back, guys. As you can see, been working on the chute door. Now don't give me a hard time about it being pretty rough. It's just pretty much thrown together. I'm not building it for somebody else, it's just for me, it just has to work. The problem is I don't know exactly what it needs to do. So it's not like I got plans to build it off of. So instead of wasting the time to make sure the fit and finish is all just perfect, I want to throw it together so I can use it, see whether it works. You know, I don't know. I don't want to waste all my time making sure everything's just perfect and then have to cut, you know, pretty much everything over or start over if it doesn't work right. So I'm just throwing it together. It's just got to hold together and to work. It doesn't have to look pretty, and I ain't wasting my time trying to make it look pretty. So just trying to get it done and need to test it out and see how it works. I ain't planning on building for anybody else either. This is just a 1-2 times a year type of piece of equipment. So, but anyhow, I got my chute door on there. It's a little stiff right now. I don't know, I might have to adjust that, but I think it'll also work better when it's up and down. There won't be any weight binding things up. Hopefully the weight will just help it slide down. Plus it's still hot. I just welded a couple of these guides on here and stuff, so. Oh yeah, it's already a little better. I didn't have that tacked on there good. I think this piece of angle iron's a little tighter. I don't know if you guys can see or not, but I think this piece here is a little tighter right here, and that's why it's kind of dragging on that side. But it ain't bad. I might adjust it a little bit if I need to. I'm gonna weld that bolt back on there and work on figuring out the leverage so I can put my plan is I think I'm going to put a handle, like a pivot here and a handle across and pin with a short bar or something, whatever it needs to so it'll pivot back and forth and pull up and push down without binding it up. Alright everybody, welcome back. I apologize because as you can see, the concrete hopper is not in the same configuration that it was. Just had too much going on and we were gone and the weather was looking good to get my footers poured, and so this time of year you just can't you can't put it off if you got some good weather to do it in. So I had to hurry up and just finish it up and get them done. But I did it yesterday and the concrete hopper worked amazing. It made it so much easier than the way we were doing it before. I was really happy. Everything worked the way I thought it would. See, the inside's fairly, I didn't get it cleaned up too good. I'd have to knock some of that off yet, but I mean, it was a steep enough angle. Even the bottom was a good angle. I'm definitely glad that I redid the bottom the way with this extra drop down, because if I'd have just followed this, let's see, I don't know if you guys can see or not. If I'd have just followed this top seam right through here, I don't think that would have been quite steep enough for the concrete to slide out as easy as it did with this angle. So I'm definitely glad that worked out that way. I could get underneath the concrete chute of the truck just fine with this height, and I still cleared. I had a pretty tall form for 1 footer because it was on a hill, so you have to build the form on an angle so that the top's flat. So it was up pretty high, and I had plenty of clearance raising the 3-point hitch up to get over it. And the only thing that I think needs worked on that could be better, obviously the door is a little bit sticky just on its own, let alone when you put some weight of the concrete against it. So some small roller bearings or something would make the door a whole lot nicer, you know, a much better fitting track and stuff. But then on the same hand, if you get it too tight and you get some concrete in there, it's going to cause you problems too. So this way I don't have much problem with concrete jamming stuff up. It did get a little sticky, but you know, you could just shake it a little bit and it would work right out. The only thing I am going to need to do is I started to bend, I don't know if you can see, but I started to bend this handle up just a little bit so that the handle wasn't so low every time I wanted to grab a hold of it. And I realized as I started bending this that I probably shouldn't do that yet, because depending on how much force it took to pull the handle up for the chute, that I might end up bending that if I already had it bent and weakened. So I started and then stopped. So I may bend this up a little bit more and then build me a gusset across the top, so that way if I need to really pull on it, I can give it a good jerk without bending the handle. But everything else worked pretty good. I did, when I was designing this to begin with, I had this link right here longer to raise the handle some, and I needed this piece to be longer, but this was the only piece of square tubing I had at the time, and I didn't have time to wait to get any more that was big enough to fit like I wanted it to, like this. So I couldn't make this piece any longer. That's what I needed to do, but I had made this joint longer, but that didn't work because it amplified how far this pivot wanted to move when the lever moved. So when it was down, it was over further, and then when I tried to raise it up, it pulled over here, which pulled sideways on the door, making this side dig in, and it just didn't work as good. So I had to shorten this up quite a bit, and I just lowered the place of the handle. Like I said, I was running out of time and I just needed to get it done. This is material I had, so I hurried up and got it done. But it worked great. It worked. It was the easiest we've ever done them. And you can see, obviously, with no concrete against it, the handle works good, because you can pull it up there and it wedges in so it stays. And then you can use your shovel and scrape that out. And then when you're ready to go, you just give her a couple knockdowns. She'll shut and work good. I think the total volume, which I don't have any exact numbers, but I had 1 footer that was close to 14 cubic feet, and I filled that up in pretty much 2 trips. So, and that was not clear full. As you can see inside the concrete marks here, we pretty much only ever filled it to here, and that was still, you know, roughly about 7 cubic feet. I didn't want to mill it too big. I just wasn't sure, you know, how the tractor was going to handle that much weight on the 3-point hitch. But it worked out great. It could have been a little bigger, but I like it the way it is. It hauls more concrete than the trailer used to use already, so that's already speeding up the things. And I ain't worried about it bowing out too much, because I can't get too much volume in it, and obviously I don't want to break the tractor, because that's going to be a really bad day when I have concrete truck waiting on me and a broken tractor. So it works out good. I could, like I said, I could fill it on up. We could fill it on up if I really wanted to push how much we was moving, because obviously, you know, only filling it up to here, the largest part of the bucket is on above that, so I could get quite a bit more in it just coming up a few more inches. But this was nice, because then I didn't have to worry about the concrete driver overfilling the bucket and going across some of the hills and stuff. I didn't have to worry about it angling and the concrete wanting to, you know, pile up on one end and spill over. So it worked good. I like it. And sorry I didn't get a little more in depth on the build with you guys, but I didn't have the time. And it's not really like it's that complicated. It was just there wasn't no designs basically to go off of to know what was going to work and stuff like that. So it was just crapshoot, and it worked good. Everything held up good, and it worked great. So it was nice, and it'll speed things up in the future. All right, guys, I think that's it for the concrete hopper. Whoa, hang on, I got to get a new tripod for this camera so you guys can stop falling over all the time. But that's it. I'm going to get it oiled up and take it off so I can put the box blade back on. I got some wood to haul, so I'll catch you guys in the next one. See you.